Hello, welcome to a new episode from Ask Dr. Frank TAF180 Online Coaching today. Today I want to talk with you about my feelings, what's surrounding me at this moment, because I'm feeling and I can hear and feel that always more people coming to me and giving me the feeling that the most important thing in their life is me, or I, what can I have, what is the best for me, what can I achieve, how can I achieve my goals, how can I reach my plans, etc., you name it. So the point is, even with my bad English, the question for many people is, how can I become more successful, more happy, etc. And I think that it's a very short-term thinking when you think about that it's always the most important thing that you reach your goals and that you go some steps ahead. Because when you think about the African wording that it belongs to a whole village to raise a kid, then you know maybe what it means when you have a metaphor like this. So we need a whole society would work together that we can reach all together our goals. So this is an old phrase from old group processes or an old group meaning. So the point is, as I told you, I have many people around me what are only looking for their self-happiness and for their own needs. Eating, shopping and consuming. And it's really unbelievable to see this sometimes. Because the question is, how much could some people consume? How much can some people eating, etc. And on the other hand side, it's not a miracle, and it's not something hidden behind the wall that many people are suffering. And when we're talking about suffering, then we realizing very fast that suffering means maybe that some people have no money, but suffering means a lot. Suffering means also when people have no possibility to be together with other people, or when they are not attractive enough to have connections and relation with other people. Exactly because other people think it's only important to be together with wealthy, beautiful and successful people. But things like this always finding their reaction in the end. So I'm a strong believer in energetical things, so in energy and in energy stabilization. So when there is a negative energy or a negative force, you will always have also positive energy and a positive force till it comes to an equilibrium. So I hope that my English is not too bad to understand this, but I think when some people suffering a lot, then the society and even some people have not to wondering when we all suffering in the end, because nobody could think that people suffering the whole life and are not reacting as humans. Maybe my English is not good enough, but I want to give you an example. I was working in Colombia 25 years ago in a social project. And in this social project, there are a lot of poor families. And some of these families had no money and nothing to eat, no way for education, no possibilities to get medical help, etc. They get help from Jesuits, from Christian organization and many people more. But the point is, it was always a donation. So it was always a present. But nobody should think that these people are not present and are not willing to reaching also their own needs. So in this time I realized that the terrorist or the rebel from the one side is always also the fighter for freedom and new ways for the other side. So there is not only black and white, there is always one side and the other side. And what I don't want is that you think that I excuse violence or terror or whatever. Of course not. Every human soul who's suffering is one human soul what suffers too much. But what I want to telling you, and my impulse today is, I want to give you the impulse that maybe you think sometimes about what you very, very personally on your small desk, in your small life can do that you make the world a little bit better. Because when we are only consuming, when we are only respecting the wealth from some people and only looking for money and our own needs, then we can and we should not wonder when the reaction is sometimes a little bit really disastrous and hard. So I hope that I can give you a small impulse today about thinking sometimes also to other persons and also other people. And you, with your small impulse and with your small movement, you can bring a lot of power and force in the system. So a small stone makes something going on. Like Greta, for example. I'm not a fan from Greta, but you see, anybody can do something and it becomes a movement with it. And the movement is that we have to care for all people around us. This is the only way how we can live and work, and that's the reason why I talk to you today and telling you maybe sometimes less is more, and maybe sometimes it's also a possibility to shift the own mindset to find a way where you can consume a little bit less and reach a little bit more for everybody. So with this impulse, I will end this episode, and I want to wish you a very, very nice day, and stay tuned. Your Dr. Thomas Alexander Frank from TAF180 Online Coaching today.